Welcome back to Squawk Box. Time now for the executive edge. This morning, some lawmakers calling for new restrictions on arms sales to Saudi Arabia following the killing of journalist Jamal Khashoggi. Here to talk about what it could mean for the big defense companies, Morgan Brennan is here. Good morning.
Good morning. Well, Saudi Arabia is the top foreign buyer of U.S. weapons, long-standing relationships with the U.S. defense contractors, which is why President Trump again argued Friday night to keep selling those systems to Saudi, surrounded by CEOs of Lockheed Martin, Boeing, General Dynamics, and others. Take a listen.
You know, we're talking about something right now where a particular country ordered, you'll never guess who this is, about $110 billion worth of equipment. And I assume you'd like to keep those orders.
Now, some of those biggest potential orders: Chinook helicopters, F-15 fighter jets from Boeing, PAC-3 missiles, THAAD systems, multi-mission combat ships from Lockheed, precision-guided munitions from Raytheon, and Abrams tanks and armored vehicles from General Dynamics, which have also been caught up in the Saudi-Canada tensions. Some prospective sales have already been delayed. This is because of Saudi's involvement in Yemen. You've had critics, including lawmakers from both sides of the aisle, calling this latest incident potentially a tipping point. But analysts, especially Wall Street analysts, aren't terribly concerned. Contractors like Lockheed and Raytheon, for example, have grown international revenues aggressively in recent years, but Saudi still only accounts for about 5% of overall sales at the big defense companies. That's according to Capital Alpha. And that's really just a drop in the bucket versus the Pentagon, which we know has been increasing its spending. Nonetheless, the stocks have been hit over the past month. You can see that chart right there with all the big names. And while none have commented on all of this so far, we do have earnings kicking off tomorrow with Lockheed Martin, and I would expect there to be some questions about it. We
showed some sound earlier from Rand Paul on Fox over the weekend, where he said during that interview, and I don't think we showed the tape, he said effectively, if there was a vote to block sales of weapons to Saudi, that it would pass overwhelmingly.
And I think there's a very strong possibility of that. I think Senator Paul has been opposed to sales of arms to Saudi for a while now, in large part because of the civil war that's playing out in Yemen. And actually, we've seen that in terms of some of these sales slowing and even being stalled over the years because of everything that's going on in Yemen. So the idea that this murder of this journalist could be a tipping point is something that folks are coming out and talking about. We'll see. Like I said, Raytheon, for example, has had a 50-year relationship with Saudi.
Is that him, or do you think there's a broader view? I mean, I was looking, one of the comments he made is with regards to jobs, I don't think arms should ever be seen as a jobs program. If that view takes hold, it puts him at direct conflict both with the president, but also with so many of his other peers in the Senate and the House.
Like it or not, and we've actually seen an explosion of foreign military sales over the last 2 years under this administration. Like it or not, it's when you talk about weapons production, just like any other type of manufacturing, it's a game of scale. So the more we sell and the more we sell to our allies, the more it brings costs down here. And yes, it does absolutely support jobs in the U.S. There's a lot of debate on how directly, but it does. But the other debate here, and I think President Trump is right to bring this up, is if we're not selling our weapon systems to Saudi Arabia, which is one of our key allies, especially as we try to counter Iran, you do have the potential of Russia or even China stepping in. We've actually seen that with Russia, with some of our allies. Turkey, for example, has been under fire because of everything that happened with the pastor in recent months, but also because they were buying a missile defense system from Russia.
Morgan Brennan, thank you.
Complicated.
It's complicated.
It's complicated.
Boy, it's complicated.